What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Honda video. I actually bought a cold air intake for the car and I'm going to go ahead and slap that on. But I was wanting to talk about this issue I've been having with the car. It burns a ton of oil now ever since the head gasket job. And I've heard, sometimes the tolerances are not so tight in these high mileage Honda motors, and sometimes changing to synthetic oil can cause an oil burning concern. So yeah, we're gonna switch it to conventional and see if the oil burning stops. It's sort of like anything above 3,000 RPMs, especially around like 5,000 or 6,000, it just dumps oil. Like, this thing is smoking the whole road. It's really bad, honestly, and I'm a bit concerned. Like, I know I did everything correctly and exactly as it should be done, so I'm a little confused. Maybe cleaning off all the carbon on the valves, maybe the valve guides are worn now and there's some oil escaping. Like, I'm not really sure. I just changed the seals, so that shouldn't really be an issue. Could be the piston rings, because I didn't attack the piston rings. I didn't touch the bottom end, but I did clean the pistons, so maybe brake clean made its way down and cleaned carbon off of the rings, and now we have too loose of a piston to wall clearance, or I really don't know what the problem could be. But I'm going to try switching to conventional because the molecules are larger in conventional oil, so maybe that will make a difference. It also smokes on startup too, a little puff of oil. So yeah, it's pretty bad. If this oil swap doesn't do it, then I don't know, probably gonna have to tear it apart again, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. I just got it back together. It runs so good too, so that's like a real shame. But yeah, we'll have to evaluate. I'd like to compression test it still. I never did do that, but I'll quit talking and get to work here installing this cold air intake. So first things first, I got to take this old intake out. There's a clamp that goes around the intake right here. Screws like right there. Undo that Phillips screw and that'll pop off. And then there's this 10 or that 10 there. And there's another one like up top underneath this wire harness here. And if you take those two 10s out, the whole air box just comes out. I already have this piece out. And then we'll be fully removed with our intake. So just to show you guys everything that comes in the kit, we got our two pipes. This is the one that's going to come off of our actual intake, or throttle body rather. And then this guy is going to go down under with the filter on this end to go under the battery tray in there. And this is our pod filter here. A couple of silicone couplers to go over the ends of the pipe here, and then some hose clamps for that and for the throttle body. And there's like this clamp or this bracket system here. I don't know if that bracket needs to be like welded on this pipe or what. I don't know. It's not really attached. So yeah, I don't know. And then there's like weather strip here to probably go around the battery tray where it goes down underneath the bumper area, and this is for your crankcase ventilation right here. So yeah, that's all of our stuff. So we're gonna see if we can get the old one off and get this new one on. All right, so we're gonna begin here by taking out this screw, getting that clamp nice and loose, and unplugging this too, which I just had taped in because it fit kind of loose after I put my new hoses on. Break that off of there and switch this up here. Alright, so we got our ratchet here, and I'm going to bust these off. And this one too. Alright, simple as that. There might be a few things still connected to yours, but mine's been in and out quite a few times. And there's also a lower piece here to this intake that we're going to have to take out as well. I'm not sure how that bolts in, but yeah, I'm going to lay under the car and see where that bolts up. I'll let you guys know. So I did actually get it out. It's just two 10 mils. One of them is you can access right from the wheel well right here, and the other one you have to come up under this way and sort of get at it from underneath the front bumper. I have my shield off here, I have for a while, But if I didn't have it off, I might have to take it off. But as of right now, I kind of have this thing sort of wedged under here, and I don't know if there's actually a way to get it out without jacking the car up. So, you know, yeah, I guess I just have to jack the car up to get it out, just because I really can't. I've tried like every which way. I've tried to like lift up the car a little bit. I just can't get it out, so I just give up. I'm gonna try to put the new one on. We'll see how it goes. So our first step here is to take our coupler like this and put a couple of clamps on it, and we're just gonna sneak this guy in there. That fits kind of loose. Hopefully these clamps get nice and tight. But yeah, so make sure we're as in as we can be there, and I'm going to get it loosely clamped just so that we can fit the other pipes. Looks like it might be a 8mm socket, so I'm going to grab one of those. Okay, so I did tighten those clamps a little bit up there, and I went ahead and put the clamps on the end of the pipe here so we can throw our other coupler on. And it's sort of weird, honestly, the fitment of everything, but I'll show you guys how the other pipe fits in here and how it just kind of goes straight down. Definitely a bit odd, but this guy kind of just goes like this into there, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to got my clamps on here. I'm going to go ahead and put this little weather stripping thing on the hole down here, and then make sure the pipe doesn't clank around. I mean, that bracket system looks like it really should go right here. Actually, I think maybe the bracket system clamps into these actual clamps. That might be the case. I'm going to see if I can make something work with those clamps there. Okay, so it's the following day. Just show you guys in a little bit better light. But I'm going to cut that red hose there, and that factory little hose that's got tape on it, that top one, probably going to separate that from the bottom hose there, which has coolant in it. That hose I had in one straight run there, but I ended up cutting it. But I might put that piece of hose back on that lower area and then just delete that whole pipe there, and then cut the red hose shorter. Should clean it up a little bit. Right here, I tighten these clamps, and I put the pod filter on down there. The whole assembly is kind of loose still. I never did figure out how they wanted me to put those clamps. I'll figure something out, but yeah, I think I want to just clamp something in with the hose clamps, and then attach it to that and see if I can hold it in the open air so we're not rubbing on anything. But for right now, I think it'll be okay for a test drive. I want to take it for a little ride, warm it up, get the oil warm, and then drain it out, throw in some thicker oil, see if we can get it to quit burning all this oil. Also, I want to check the PCV again. I know I cleaned it, but maybe it's clogged again and that's causing our oil burning. I doubt it, but if I pull it out, I should be able to tell. I don't actually hear any rattling. Maybe it is clogged. No, I'm gonna go clean this out again. I should just get a new one if this thing clogs again. Oh my god. But I'm gonna clean that out, and yeah, maybe that'll fix our oil burn. Let's see. So I know I had this in a previous video of mine, but I just want to cover it again, maybe with this better microphone. I'll let you guys hear it. But here's the current sound that it makes. It's barely anything. So it is clogged again, so I'm going to clean it out. I'm also going to order a new one because this thing already clogged again. There's definitely something wrong with it. And these things are dirt cheap, so I'm being stupid not to just order a new one. So I'm going to get one coming soon. But I'm just going to use a little bit of this throttle body and intake cleaner, spray it in there, see if I can get it to click any louder. And then we will take it for a test drive and I guess see where the oil consumption is. Might still put thicker oil in it, but maybe I don't have to. That would be
It'd be really crazy. I was burning a lot of oil, so this might just be some of that oil burning. You should be able to hear that that's definitely better. It's still not perfect, but it should be enough to allow our little check ball in there to open and shut. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that. So we are inside the car. I'm about to start it up, and we're gonna test this intake out, also test out my PCV cleaning job, and if that didn't work, then we're warming up the engine so that we can change the oil and get all the old oil out. For some thicker oil, I'd like to see if the cold air intake made a difference in my tune, to see if it reads any leaner, if we're sucking in any extra air. Not sure that it will, but it has to be at some level less restrictive than the factory intake, so I guess we'll see. Reading pretty rich right now, but it is a cold start, so I just want to get the engine a little bit warm first before I do any pulls. It's always good to practice that. My tune looks around the same. We're reading pretty good right now. Engine's still really cold, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and warm this thing up. Seems like she's still burning a little bit of oil. Yeah, burning more oil than I would like. Yeah. I guess maybe we'll still change the oil to the thicker oil to see if we can get the oil burning to stop completely. But I do think it's better. Maybe it's just because the oil is not too hot yet. I'm gonna wrap it here, we'll see. Yeah, the oil burning's still pretty bad. Still smoking out the road. Feel bad for that guy behind me. I'm gonna send her back to the house now and change the oil. But it does feel pretty good. This intake feels good. Maybe do one more little rip here. Running out of gas. She smokes. I feel like once you get it going, then it really gets going. This thing's smoking good now. little ridge. I'm gonna bring my laptop with me today. I'm going to my girlfriend's house, so we'll do a little tuning on the way. We'll see if we can lean it up a little bit, because running rich could contribute to the oil burning, because we're coating the cylinder walls with fuel, and it's washing down and getting the oil all over the walls, and then I'm burning it. So that could be an issue. But we definitely got her warm. Gonna be able to get all this oil out of there, and yeah, see if we can get her fixed up.
So it is like a couple days later, and I've been driving the car around a little bit. After changing the oil, it does still burn oil. So it is what it is. I'm gonna try to do a few more diagnostic steps to try to figure out exactly what it is. I think that it is the oil control rings on the pistons, and they're either stuck or sufficiently worn. But it just seems odd to me that they would just fail all of a sudden. So I'm going to be inclined to assume that the oil control rings are just stuck in place, and they're like stuck in the clamp position, and because of that, they're not controlling the oil in the cylinder. They don't keep the oil down, so the oil is getting into the compression rings and it's burning. So yeah, I think that might be my issue, so I have something that I'm going to try to do to fix that. And if that doesn't work, then I'll probably end up pulling the motor out of the car and pulling the pistons out and putting new rings. Whether I hone the block or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's a lot of work. Didn't really want to have to do that, but you know, if I have to do it, I have to do it. I want the car to run good, and I don't want to burn oil everywhere. So it's gotta be done. But other than that, the cold air intake is cool. It's great. I didn't really pick up any power. You know, I didn't expect to. I just wanted it for looks, and just to know that the engine is breathing as well as it can. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm still gonna try to figure out some sort of bracket to hold the pipe there. I'll show you guys that in a later video. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more stuff. I got this bumper that I'm trying to paint today, so I'll be posting that video soon. It's not for my car, but for someone else's. And I'm also going to try to start installing an alarm system in the Honda that I have had for a while, but been waiting for a good time. So it's getting pretty cold, so I think it's nice to have it's not going to remote start since it's a manual. I don't feel like hooking that up, but yeah, it should be good though. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, everybody.